story.
Well, you want to know what happened?
Yeah.
She always blames us, think that's, to fight.
I definitely had depressions about it. It was just hard. It was a lot. Let me tell you what it does to you. It makes you feel less than a person.
Salt-N-Pepa, the iconic hip-hop trio that took the music world by storm in the 1980s, has had a career filled with both triumphs and challenges. Once considered an unstoppable force in the industry, the reality behind the scenes was far more complex than what fans saw on stage. The story of their rise, the internal tensions, and their eventual breakup is one filled with drama, personal struggles, and spiritual journeys. It all began in the 80s, with Cheryl James, Salt, Sandra Denton, Pepa, and DJ Spinderella. These three women, each with their own unique personalities, came together to form one of the most influential female rap groups in history. At the heart of their success was the bold and fearless way they tackled controversial topics, from sex to relationships, all while delivering some of the most unforgettable beats. But as their fame grew, so did the pressures, both professionally and personally, which would eventually drive a wedge between them. Salt-N-Pepa, along with Spinderella, were not just making music, they were breaking barriers. Their first album, Hot, Cool, and Vicious, hit the scene in 1986, and while they had no idea that Push It would become their biggest hit, it ended up being a cultural phenomenon. The track was everywhere, and it catapulted them to stardom. For a while, it seemed like Salt-N-Pepa could do no wrong. They continued to release hit after hit, including songs like Let's Talk About Sex,
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
and Shoop,
This is spell hell makes me want to shoot.
which only further solidified their place in hip-hop history. Their music was bold, unapologetic, and it gave women a powerful voice in a male-dominated industry. But success brought its own set of challenges. For Salt, the pressure of being in the spotlight began to take a toll on her mental health. Behind the scenes, she was battling issues like bulimia, body image insecurities, and depression. These struggles would later lead her to step away from the group and seek solace in religion.
I submitted my life to Christ for a number of reasons.
As Salt found peace in her faith, her priorities shifted, and she began to distance herself from the wild and provocative image that Salt-N-Pepa had become known for. Meanwhile, Pepa was still embracing the bold persona that had made them famous. She wasn't ready to let go of the group's image or the lifestyle that came with it. Pepa, too, was dealing with her own set of personal struggles, including a tumultuous marriage with rapper Tretch from Naughty by Nature. Their relationship was often the subject of rumors, with allegations of abuse swirling around the tabloids. Pepa's personal life was falling apart, but she was determined to keep the music going, even if Salt was no longer fully committed. Spinderella, the group's DJ, had her own challenges. Though she joined Salt-N-Pepa when she was just 16 years old, she was often treated as an outsider, never really receiving the same level of recognition as Salt-N-Pepa.
It makes you feel inferior. You have an inferior complex. You have confidence issues. You have low self-esteem, never believing that I was good enough. Never, always having to prove, overprove, and never getting that acknowledgement.
In the early years, Spinderella wasn't even the group's first DJ. There had been another Spinderella before her, who had been let go for failing to show up to performances. When Spinderella joined, she quickly became an integral part of the group's sound and image, but she never quite felt like an equal member. This feeling of exclusion would later lead to major conflicts between her and Salt-N-Pepa. By the early 2000s, tensions between the trio had reached a breaking point. Salt had grown tired of the constant touring and the music industry's demands. She wanted out. In 2002, Salt-N-Pepa officially broke up, and the hip-hop world was left stunned.
Breaking up in 2002, Salt-N-Pepa.
Fans couldn't believe that one of the most successful female rap groups in history had called it quits. For Salt, the breakup was a necessary step in her journey toward self-healing. She threw herself into her faith, focusing on her relationship with God,
Brought me to my knees, and he just showed me where I was just compromising.
and working to overcome the personal demons that had plagued her for years. In interviews, She spoke openly about her struggles with bulimia and how therapy had helped her work through her issues. She had found peace, but it had come at a cost: the dissolution of the group that had made her a star. Peppa, on the other hand, wasn't ready to let go of Salt-N-Pepa. She continued to perform and embrace the group's legacy, even as Salt moved on with her life. Peppa's personal life remained turbulent, particularly her rocky divorce from Tretch. The public was fascinated by the drama surrounding their marriage, and Peppa often found herself in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Then there was Spinderella. As the group's DJ, she had always felt like the third wheel, and when the group disbanded, she was left feeling betrayed. In 2019, Spinderella shocked fans when she revealed that Salt-N-Pepa had fired her via email.
They fired me, but it's cool. I'm good with that. Fire me. Because I don't like being abused.
The news sent shockwaves through the fan base, as many had assumed the trio would reunite again at some point. But Spinderella wasn't going quietly. She took to social media to air her grievances, accusing Salt-N-Pepa of sidelining her throughout their career and not compensating her fairly. Spinderella's claims of being treated as an afterthought weren't entirely new. Back in 2007, Salt-N-Pepa starred in their own reality show, and Spinderella was notably absent from most of the episodes. While she was featured as a guest star in some episodes, it was clear that the show was primarily about Salt-N-Pepa's relationship. This exclusion further deepened the rift between Spinderella and the rest of the group. Despite the drama, there were moments when it seemed like a reunion was possible. In 2005, Salt-N-Pepa reunited for the VH1 Hip Hop Honors, and in 2007, they performed together again at the Grammy Awards. Fans were hopeful that the trio had reconciled, but behind the scenes, the tensions were still simmering. In 2021, Salt-N-Pepa were honored with a biopic, chronicling their rise to fame and the challenges they faced along the way. However, Spinderella was once again left out of the production, sparking more controversy. She expressed her disappointment publicly, stating that she hadn't been consulted about the film and that her contributions to the group's success had been overlooked. By this point, Spinderella had had enough. She decided to take legal action against Salt-N-Pepa, suing them for breach of contract. The lawsuit alleged that Spinderella had been unfairly excluded from the group's profits, including tours and other lucrative deals. Salt-N-Pepa responded by claiming that Spinderella had never been an official partner in the group, and that her role had always been that of an employee, not an equal member. The legal battle between the three women highlighted the deep fractures that had existed within the group for years. While Salt-N-Pepa had gone on to achieve financial success, with net worths in the millions, Spinderella felt like she had been left behind, both financially and professionally. Despite all the drama, there's no denying the impact that Salt-N-Pepa has had on the music industry. Their bold lyrics, groundbreaking music, and unapologetic approach to controversial topics made them trailblazers in the world of hip-hop. Today, both Salt and Pepa continue to perform, and while a full reconciliation with Spinderella seems unlikely, the legacy of Salt-N-Pepa remains strong. Whether or not the trio will ever fully reconcile, one thing is certain: Salt-N-Pepa's story is far from over. They continue to inspire new generations of artists and fans, and their contributions to hip-hop will never be forgotten. Fans can only hope that one day, these three women will find peace with each other and maybe, just maybe, hit the stage together once again. So what do you think about the stands from Spinderella? And will we ever see a full reunion with her? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you next time.